Howdy, howdy, how are you ni? Karibu to the Escapade Show. If you're new here, karibu tena sana. That's just how we say it here. And today's video is a continuation from my previous live. I had come live and I had talked about wealth generation, generational wealth. And also I talked about Africans coming together. I also went live with a friend, and now this one is a continuation from there, because from how the topic went, it was like Africans, we can't come together. And I was like, hey, how is it that we can't come together? And as we all know, yeah, where there is a problem, there is always a solution. And so as to find a solution, we have to go down deep to the problem and know where the problem is. So this is a continuation of that, and me trying to figure out where the problem is and where it lies. And this is why we came up with the title, Africans, We Are Not the Same. So karibu tena sana. I'm your host, Esther. So the reason I'm saying African people, we are not the same, it's just because we have the same color, it doesn't necessarily makes us the same. Yeah. And if we go back, I will allow us to go back to the colonial time. And before colonial time, Africans had their own tribes, and they used to live among themselves. There was no mixture of tribe. It was like, let's assume, like right now in Kenya, we have like 46 tribes. And these 46 tribes are divided into clans. Like we have Bantus, we have Nilotes, and we have Kushites. So you find Bantus are Kikuyus, and Kikuyus now, they migrated from those sides of South Africa, and now those are Bantus. And Nilotes, they came from the side of Sudan. And Kushites now, Kushites are like, people like Somalis, yeah, Rendile. Those are the Kushites. And also they came from another part of Africa. So you see, these people, like, they lived among themselves. There was no this cultural mixture. And later on, now after the colonization, that's when now at this colonial period, that's when now these colonizers, like, they made people to live together. They brought people together. So you see, and I strongly believe the problem lies there, because if you look at in European history, if you look at it, even them back then, they like, they lived among themselves. There wasn't this coming together. And later on, when they also came together, and that's where some of their fights came from. And okay, let me say this. Whenever people are trying to fight something, or they are trying to be against something, that's when now people come together, because they have a common thing they are fighting against. Yeah. And here is where now Africans had to come together, and like, we have to come together because we have a common something that we are fighting. And here is where our togetherness is coming in. Let's assume we want to fight poverty. Yeah. So we'll have to come together to fight poverty. Yeah. But us coming together doesn't make us one, because we have our own cultural ways of how we do things. We have ways on how our minds are, how we think, how we walk, how we do things. And another thing is we have very rich, rich African people, very rich, and at the same time we have very poor Africans, very poor. Yeah. Our cultures are also different. The education background, it's also different. You'll find some people are very well educated, some are not. So it's really, it becomes a problem when Africans, we are being categorized as one. And there's also another thing about, like, but this is a story of another day, like the way Africans and like the Black Americans, you see, even them, like, we are the same color, we are everything. Like if you see a Black American, if you see African, automatically it's one. But there's a lot of differences. And my point is, whenever we are fighting against something, that's when we come together. And I believe now we've already found the answer to why it is that we cannot come together. And it's because we are being placed into places. Probably you are having someone who is not of your clan, someone who is not even, we can speak the same language, but we are not understanding each other. Like our level of understanding is not, it's not on the same level. So I think it can work for Africans to work together, while at the same time you're having in mind that we are fighting the same thing. So if I am fighting this, let's say I'm trying to fight poverty, another one is trying to fight primitiveness. Yeah. So if I join the one who wants to fight primitiveness, we are going to collide. But if I find someone who is going to fight poverty, who has the same mind with me, then we are going to work together. And that's why maybe it's even advisable, if it's working together, try and find someone who is of your same tribe, someone who is of your same level of understanding, someone who is ready to work together. And yeah, that's just how it's going to work. And we also avoid this thing that it cannot work. Like I said before, like it's a high time, like, Africans to come together. And with that, you come together in the sense of try and find someone who you think of the same thing. Yeah. So I still strongly believe that we can, and yes, we can come together. Another thing, in the world that we are living in right now, there is totally a lot of things that are going on. Yeah? A lot. And it's a matter of right or wrong. There is no in between right now. It's for you to know where you are standing right now as we speak. And also these things with the oh, okay, I think I will have to, before I stop, I will also leave with you with something. Like, when something is like whenever you're faced with something, or whenever there's something going on, please make it a tenderness of always asking questions. Ask why, try and know why is it like that. Those questions are very important. And also try go deep down to the roots, try and understand things the way they are. And let's not just assume that things always have a reason. Okay, so I think I will have to go. And thank you for watching. Ciao.